Best of r/entitled parents episode 33. Background history. I'm an 18 years old kid. I live in Hong Kong and I've been protesting since day one of the current event. I was jivying the role of frontline protester 2 months ago and I come out to protest often. If you have any questions, do feel free to ask. This isn't just a storytelling session, but I'm also trying to spread awareness of the protest. Let's get into this. EP. Entitled sack of shit that feeds his/her kid K. Actually a normal kid, about 11 and supports the protesters. Me, duh. It happened a month ago. It was a Sunday. I was waiting for the bus to get to the protest. All was fine for the first few minutes, but then it happened. The woman at the end of the line came to me. Conversation. EP. Take off the mask. Me. What? EP. You heard me. Take it off me. No. Why? EP. You're scaring my kid. Me. Peeks. No, he's not. He's not even looking at me. He's on his damn phone. EP. I don't care. Take it off or I will. Me. Fuck off. What I wear is none of your business. EP. Right, that does it. Proceeds to grab my mask off me. MHM. Fuck off. Pushes her with my umbrella. K. Sees a conflict, so he walks up to his EP. Stop. You're embarrassing us. Let's just go. They left after EP failed to get my mask. It's fine if she did. I had a gas mask anyway. The kid whispered GFHK into my ears. That kid had the guts to stand up for others and knows what's wrong. In HK, respect to your elders is really important. He stood up to what's right instead of staying quiet. Protesters are being arrested. Every protests and newcomers are decreasing daily. People are afraid of standing up for themselves even though they know what's right and what's not. To people who want to join but afraid, don't be, because you're going to be doing the right thing. Thank you. Next. Hi all, I just wanted to post this story that happened to me a month ago more or less. English is not my first language, sorry for any misspelling, also I'm on phone, however if you see a misspelled word feel free to point out. The cast. EM. Innocent employee i.e. manager M and me. I was looking for a Nintendo Switch game that was just released, and where I live it was really hard to find at the time. So I entered this electronic/video game/movie store, and as usual I looked at the games and it wasn't there, as I thought, and started to look on the bargain bin so that maybe I could find a rare one, and I got surprised as at the bottom of the bin there it was the game I was looking for. As I took it out of the pile, a Karen cut employee, EM, neared and took it out of my hands and told me that if I wished she could remove the security package, that huge locked box that stores use to prevent people from stealing. And I said that it was okay. TBH, I thought that it was a little rude, but sometimes sellers are like that. And after a solid 15 minutes wait she returned with a totally different game. The only thing they had in common was that there were anime characters on the cover. I told her that it wasn't the same game and EM told me that it was. At this point I was getting mad, however screaming doesn't work anywhere in life. Or at least I see things that way. However, I requested her to look again, and after another 10 minutes there comes IE to told me that if I don't go she will call the security of the store because I was begging rude with her coworker. However, after I explained the situation to her she told me that she will look if the game was in stock, and to her surprise the game was in stock and she started to look out for it. To no avail. After spending like an hour and a half on the store I was really pissed and requested to speak with the manager. I felt so Karen-like doing that. It turned out that the manager was just a few steps away and heard most of the story. He took EM to the back of the store and I just could heard the EM wailing some things. That dumb kid idiot. My kid's Christmas. He at the end came out with the game and offered a 5% discount and told me that she was going to be punished for stealing. The only thing that I cannot understand is why didn't she reserved it or something like that. Anyway, I can't complain, in the end I got my game. TLDR. EM tries to hide a game from me and ends up punished. Thank you. Next. This happened earlier today, and as I'm still pissed, I decided to blow off some steam here. Anyway, here's what happened. Earlier today, I was at the park with my friends. We were just horsing around, playing tag and stuff, when EM shows up, and shit hits the fan. Anyway, here's the usual suspects. EM. Entitled mother EK. Entitled kid me. I think you can figure it out. F. Friend. My friend and I were playing tag with a couple of the other kids at the park, minding our own business, when EM shows up. She walks over to the swing set and puts EK on the swing. She pushes him for a minute before he inevitably gets tired of the swings. EK, mommy, I want to do something else. EM, okay, whatever you want, sweetheart. EK, I want to ride on that scooter. At this point, I was on the other side of the playground, but my friend, who was nearby, saw the whole scene unfold. EM takes her little shit over to my scooter and plops the little shit stin down on top of it. My friend, realizing what was going on, immediately called me over. Hey, you / Thunder 784, come here. I jog over, and F quickly fills me in. I then head over to EM, while F stays behind to watch the madness unfold. Me, trying to be polite, excuse me miss, that's my scooter your son's riding on. EM, well you clearly aren't using it. Why shouldn't he be allowed to? Me, mom, that's not the point. That scooter belongs to me, and he's not allowed to use it without my permission. EM, well he doesn't need your permission. In fact, you're too old to be using such a childish toy, so why don't you give it to me? Me, having lost patience, look lady, I tried to be polite. I gave you the benefit of the doubt, hoping that maybe you would have some common sense, but number, you clearly do not care at all for what I have to say, so I don't care about what you have to say. At this point, I walk over to EK and ask him to get off, hoping that he will see that it's not going to work out for him. No such luck. EK, go away, this is my scooter. Mommy said I could have it. Me, look dude, that's not how it works. Now get off, or I will remove you from my scooter. At this point, EM has waddled over to me and EK. EM, who do you think you are, telling my son to do anything? I'm so tired of their crap at this point that I just flip EM off, push EK off my scooter, and ride away as fast as I can. As I'm riding away, EM begins screaming threats at me for pushing EK, talking about how she's going to sue me for injuring him. I can't resist one last attempt at shutting her up, so I turn around, maybe not my best idea, and ride back over to her. Me, look lady, your son is fine, he barely fell at all. Plus with all that padding around him, he wasn't exactly skinny, it probably broke his fall. EM lunges at me as I ride away, but I just lean out of her way. She lost her balance for a second, and nearly tipped over, but, unfortunately, managed to keep her balance. Anyway, I'm just glad I can rant about it here, as it really bothers me that people are actually this entitled. I probably could have handled the situation better, but at the time I was so pissed that I didn't think correctly. I hope none of you have the misfortune to run into someone like this ever, and Merry Christmas / Hanukkah. Thank you. Next. Okay, so this is a story that is not really an entitled parents story but more like a Richard story, and this is the best place I could put it. During my 7th grade years, I played football for my middle school. Granted, none of my classmates or myself were that good, but it still was what 12-year-old me enjoyed. I was really good at the defensive side of the ball, and keep in mind I told the coaches this too. Yet, they still put me on offensive lineman. I sucked at offensive lineman. The coaches saw that, too, so instead of putting me on the defensive side of the ball, they benched me for no good reason. This now gave me 2 years of the nickname BFG and endless bullying because I was told I wasn't aggressive enough when I was already 6 feet tall and more aggressive than everyone on the team. Coming in 8th grade year, the same thing happened again, but this time, when the offense was running plays, I was put on a practice defense. The coaches also told us it was a live ball. This means we play like it is a real game of football. This got me happy. Every single play I would get through our offensive line and slap the ball out of the QB's hands before he could throw it. Then I also made it a point to toss the ball to the coach and stare him down for a good 5 seconds. After the season is over, I move on to summer. This is the time of which I got really good at the game. I train through the summer and get recognized by my high school coaches. Now, instead of me being benched, I am one of the best on my team. I even got chosen to move up to the varsity practice period, and I am known by all of my high school coaches. After the season is over, I join wrestling where I compete in wrestling duels and tournaments. Here comes the dick move by one of the middle school coach. When I was getting my singlet for my duel, the same coach that benched me for 2 seasons is in the room talking to the head wrestling coach. As I am about to get my singlet, the middle school coach has the audacity to say, "Look here coach, insert wrestling coach's name here. This is my fantastic middle school football player that I coached," and shake my hand. Right then and there I bust out laughing. Both coaches are now confused. I then explained to my wrestling coach how my former football coach benched me for 2 seasons and told me I wasn't aggressive enough. I start calling him out on all of his BS. This all happened half an hour ago. I'm now on my way to my duel and I'm still on adrenaline from that. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you. Next. Last week my sister moved in with me and my BF and I was granted legal rights to be her legal guardian. This is because she had to live with our aunt who constantly mentally abused her. Everything from being beat to spending time with friends. Well, last Thursday my sister got an 85 on a test and my aunt slapped her across the face for being dumb. This caused her to run 3 blocks away to my house where she told me what had happened. I called CPS and they found evidence of abuse and apparently my sister was slightly malnourished because my aunt never bought food for anyone but herself and her kids. So long story short, aunt was arrested for child abuse / neglect and my sister now lives with me. We recently celebrated her 14th birthday, something that our aunt never did in the 5 years she lived with her. Edit. Some of the things she was punished for are having a girlfriend, not knowing how to cook, getting less than an A on a test and touching herself. Thank you. Next. My fiancé works as a part-time junior web developer and is excellent in his work. He still has 1 year left of college. He has gotten plenty of praise from his work, and when he took a break from work to finish school projects the company was whining for him to get back as the project wasn't advancing without him. I don't know how much the stepdad earns, I think somewhere around or over 20 euros/HR. When we told about the raise, 15 euros more than 17 euros/HR, my fiancé's stepdad got seriously mad. He thinks that because my fiancé is still in college, he can't do anything and hasn't earned said raise. You are just in their way there and yet they pay you that much money. You don't deserve it. And the rant continued. I feel like he got offended that my fiancé who's young is doing so well, while he's stuck where he is. We just sat there quiet listening to the rant and looking at each other, and I swear we both tuffed the exact same thing at the same time. Okay, Beamer. You would think parents would be proud of their, step or not, kids getting a raise, but guess not. Sorry if this doesn't belong here, but I just needed to vent. He works so hard and it breaks my heart when somebody pushes him down like that. Totally unjustified. Thank you. Next. So, this happened yesterday and I'm still furious. This maybe will be not as entitled as other stories but made my blood boil. As always, first time poster. Not English speaker and yet this is effing true. Yesterday I went to watch Frozen 2 with my family. We bought our tickets via online because the site showed that the function was almost full. All great at start. We bought popcorn and nachos, and entered the showroom. When the movie was starting this family arrived, 2 kids and their parents, and start making a lot of noise. I just roll my eyes and try to focus on the movie but surprise surprise their seats was just above ours. Since the beginning the daughter started to kick my seat when I asked the mother to tell her to stop and she just gave me a dirty look and say that she already do so. All good for like 10 minutes, then I start to hear the little son coughing and gauging. Again I just try to focus on the movie when in the middle of the function the obvious thing happen. Kid bath, just behind me seat. Again I just try to continue enjoying the movie, when roughly 20 minutes later, again, kid bath again. In that moment I exploded, because of the smell and the irresponsibility of their parents to just leave him suffer. I tell them get your son to the bathroom, obviously that doesn't feel good. They just ignored me and start flashing me with their cell phones, and the daughter started to kick my little sister's seat. In that moment I just get up and exit the room searching for a manager or a cinema employee. I explained the situation to them and ask if they can be removed or something. In the same time my family switches places because of the horrendous smell. They don't through them because the movie was just finishing and the cinema didn't want to ruin the end of the movie just for 2 jerks. When the movie finished the ED tried to flee away with the kid but the employees detained him in the door and don't let him go. When I was going out I saw the kid literally bending dollar and the father with a sour face. TL. Doctor, boy baths during movie. Parents didn't care. Sorry for being too long.